the MCAT. Toxic pre-med culture. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. So, welcome back to my channel. JK. This is my first video. So hi, my name is Suraya. I graduated from Brown University in 2023, and now I'm a current applicant in the 2024 to 2025 medical school application cycle. So those are my credentials. So today we're gonna get to everything you need to know about being pre-med. I got my notes here, and we're ready to go. When you're first starting out, everyone talks about what are you going to major in. I don't know how it works around other schools, but I had to declare my major in sophomore year, so I had a little bit of time to explore what I wanted to do. Usually the traditional pre-med majors in biology, chemistry, biochem, the physical sciences. And I knew that was not for me. I enjoyed science throughout high school, but I really wanted to see what I could... What kind of bug is that? Whew, I just had to kill a bug. I encourage everyone to explore various fields because you can major in anything in order to apply to medical school. And I almost feel like that allows you to stand out and just diversify medicine in terms of perspectives. So for me, I majored in public health. So it wasn't a physical science, it was still health related, but I think it was really important for me to do that because I wanted to maintain a wider perspective on health. It allowed me to become aware of social determinants of health and how acknowledging these factors in someone's health plan will allow for a more comprehensive view of health and also more upstream efforts to attaining health equity. So that was my major, and I found in interviews people really enjoyed this perspective, and it was really applicable to communities I want to work with in terms of minority populations, marginalized population, vulnerable individuals in general. Of course, if you're really passionate about biology, chemistry, biochem, totally major in that. Keeping letters of recommendation on your radar early on is only going to benefit you. You do not want to be the student who didn't talk to any professors throughout all 4 years of college and have to scram at the last second and have someone that barely knows you write a letter. That can be a determining factor in your application. So usually these are supervisors, managers, professors, who have seen you in academic, volunteer, research, or work setting. So you just gotta do it. You gotta go to office hours, you gotta talk to professors, TAs. It feels weird sometimes, but try to just be genuine. Talk to them, ask questions about coursework, and over time you'll develop a relationship and they'll get to know you. And something to keep of note is some schools require 2 science professors. I only had 1, so I had to find a second professor that I took a course with last minute, who probably didn't write the strongest recommendation for me because I didn't know him so well. Just keep that in mind as well. On top of your major, you also have to complete pre-med requirements, and these are pretty standard amongst every university. No matter where you go, you're gonna have to verify that you took these courses. Courses are biology, 2 semesters with a lab, general chemistry, 2 semesters with lab, organic chemistry, 2 semesters with lab, physics, 2 semesters with lab, biochemistry, 1 semester, math, 2 semesters, English and writing, 2 semesters. And this may vary a little bit based on AP credits that you receive from high school. So for me, I didn't have to take any math courses because I had AP math credits. Extracurriculars. So there's not really a standard activity list they have to do or that is required. It's different for each person. I think that's good because you can be unique in your activities and that's what sets you apart. The general rule is quality over quantity, and everyone says this, but really, you don't want to be doing 20 extracurriculars on top of all your courses because you're not going to be able to dedicate yourself completely to each one. Also, just do what you're passionate about. When you have to write and verbalize through interviews about these activities, you really get to showcase what sort of projects or goals that you have long-term that relate to these activities. I would say anything really can relate to medicine. I would definitely say go towards leadership opportunities and have a few activities that are more clinical where you have direct patient contact. So I was a medical assistant at a dermatology office. I was also an advocate at a primary care center, so things like that. The MCAT. The medical college admissions test is a standardized multiple choice examination. You take the test on a computer and it's about 7 hours. There are 4 sections, one on biochem and biology, the second on chemistry and physics, third on psychology and social behavior, and fourth on critical analysis and reasoning skills. It doesn't have to be that bad if you are effective with your studying habits and strategies. I can make a whole separate video on tips from someone who doesn't really doesn't really perform well on standardized tests. I'm going to speak more to the timeline. The application to medical school is 1 year. Without a gap year, you would apply May of junior year. So that means you have up until then to take the MCAT, and usually people do around the summer, September, but you have up until mid-May. If you're going to do one gap year, it's going to be pushed 1 year later. So you're going to be applying May of senior year. You have up until then to take the MCAT. Of course, you have to do well on the MCAT, but if you're not an extremely high performer, it's really not the end of the day because there are so many other parts of your application that can outweigh this. Premed advising offices are great for distributing resources, but when the advising comes in, I become a little bit more hesitant. In my experience and friends' experience, I found that their approach to evaluating our applications are a bit rigid and they don't really reflect the holistic lens admissions committees use when they're actually reviewing applications. Of course, take constructive criticism, but don't allow any sort of extreme statements like you shouldn't go into medicine to deter you at all. In terms of the toxic pre-med culture, you just really need to not compare yourself to people. What someone else is doing is really not going to make a difference on your own trajectory. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for my upcoming content. Bye!